Hello, this is Dr. Grande. Welcome to my 2023 Christmas Extravaganza. I'm here with my wife, Amy, and tonight we'll be looking over the house and taking a look at the Christmas trees and other decorations that my wife has put up. We had to take the dogs here into the studio because they were making some noise. So they're joining us on set. We've taken a lot of footage of the house just a few minutes ago. This is Christmas Eve when we're recording this. And all the trees and decorations have been up since about mid-November.
Yep, finished since November 13th.
So I've had a lot of requests for this, so I hope you enjoy it. We'll be taking a look at this video here on this laptop and then putting the video up on the screen so you can see the various elements of the house and the various trees and, again, other decorations that we have available. Mm-hmm. So we'll get started. Let's take a look at the video here. So this opening shot is the family room, and we see a Christmas tree in the corner and then the fireplace. We spend a lot of time in the family room at night after work, so this is a room that gets used a lot. Then we see the shot moves over to the foyer, and this is our 10-foot skinny tree.
Yep, new this year.
Yep, this is the only tree that's new.
Yeah.
For this year. This is the living room. We don't really use this room a whole lot. And we see kind of a shelf with some different items and a lamp with a Christmas lampshade and there's bells on it.
Yeah, jingle bells.
So describe this tree for me.
This was my mom's tree, and we always teased her and said it was a Charlie Brown tree. As you can see, it's very scrawny and just not a real fluffy, full tree. And so it's kind of rustic, and so I put many of my mom's ornaments. I've added a few over the years, but not too many. Rustic, rusty ornaments, wood, a lot of tin and whatnot.
So it's like a country theme and then kind of a rusty metal theme.
Yeah.
On this one. It kind of fits with the color of the tree.
Yeah. It's not a real traditional tree. My mom was so excited when she brought this tree home, and we all thought she was crazy. And when she passed away, I told my dad, I said, I want Mom's tree. So this is my favorite tree because it's my heart. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it doesn't look real green. It has a brown look to it, but it does look nice in the house.
Yeah, it goes. It goes with our
fits in
decorating style.
So here we're moving into the foyer, and this sits right next to the front door. It's like a little stand with snowman, and then what's that up there on the wall?
It's a snowman. I think it has a bell inside of it. It might be a candle holder.
Okay.
Now that I say that.
And here we see the dining room. And the table here, like some type of centerpiece. And then what are those objects there in the back?
Those houses up on the shelf were my mom's Christmas village, I guess, that she put together, and my sister didn't want them and asked me if I wanted them. And she had like a dozen houses. And so the boys and I divided them all up, and they chose what they wanted, and I took what was left.
Okay, so now moving over to, we see this Christmas tree in the corner, and this has like the colored LED lights on it.
Yeah.
And it's a really bright, intense tree. It may not look like it from the video, but especially when the lights are off, it casts these like small circular colored discs all over the walls. Yeah. Because they're like lasers, which I think I mentioned in the Patreon video last year. So let's take a closer look at some of the ornaments on this tree. We see a castle maybe, something from Epcot Center. Mm-hmm. So a theme emerges pretty quickly that we're dealing with a lot of Disney.
Yeah. I am a Disney fan, and I've been to the parks 10 different times, multiple cruises.
Yeah, so here we see Disney cruise ship. This is Dream, I believe, right?
Yeah, that was from our very first cruise ever. We took as a family, and it was fantastic. And so it created an addiction for the two of us, and we're now cruisers.
If you think about it, with the work schedule and all, we don't really take vacations, don't really do much, but cruises are one thing that we try to do a couple a year.
Yeah, and I think that first cruise made you realize how much you needed a break, because with no internet out in the middle of this ocean, you couldn't work. It forced you to stop, and it made you realize how much you needed that break.
Yeah, it was a nice departure, just something different, and it's really completely different, right? And we're not in the house,
Right.
We're totally separated from work.
I don't have to cook.
Yeah, no
I don't have to
cooking.
make the beds.
Yeah, good experience. So we have that on there too, and I'm sure we'll get some more of those as time goes on. And then we see just other general kind of Disney ornaments on the tree.
I bought an ornament. That's my Mother's Day present from the boys. I've bought an ornament in the park every time, for every trip. So there are at least 10 ornaments from the parks, and then others that I've been given as gifts and just bought extras and whatnot. And then we did an ornament exchange on our second cruise, because it was a Christmas cruise. So I joined an ornament exchange. So there are several ornaments on there that I received from that. And that was a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm. All the cruises were good. They were all fun.
Yeah, even a bad cruise is better than no cruise. But they have been really good.
Yeah, so this particular tree in the dining room kind of memorializes that activity. And then kind of moving back here to the left, we have a close-up of the houses or the buildings, I guess.
Church. I have a bakery, a lighthouse, and a gazebo there.
Yeah, so that's that room. Now moving back to the foyer, and we see some of the wildlife there behind the gate. Here we see a nativity scene, and this table might look familiar to those who've seen the shorts. This is the table that you decorate for every holiday with something.
Yeah, it's in our entryway, and I feel like it's kind of a welcoming point for people that come into the home, and I like to have the various holidays reflected there. But that particular nativity set, I've always wanted a really nice nativity to display, and I don't even know how long we've had that, but I asked you for that for Christmas a good many years ago, and to this day it is my favorite decoration to put out and put up. To me, that's how I know it's Christmas, is when I get to bring my nativity out. So
We know it's Christmas because Halloween just happened.
yeah, in this house, yeah.
But yeah, I think, if not mistaken, I bought that in a few stages, right? Like different
Yeah,
items.
because it has a lot of pieces to it. So it was something you could add to every year, add a couple more pieces to it. So
The kind of panning left from the table, again, we see the dogs behind the gate. And this is a new gate that I think goes a little better.
Yeah.
Before we had
It's a
like
little
a,
nicer.
looked like a blockade that was built by insurgents. It was kind of like something we just put together. It was like a table and I think like hand weights.
Yeah, just a barricade made out of necessity.
Some luggage, I think, was in there. You know, so I always felt like we were going to overrun. But this new gate I like a lot better, and it's just a lot cleaner and looks nicer to have up
And the
year-round.
dogs can see through it.
Yeah, I think they like it. You know, to the extent that they could like a gate, they like it better. So here's a close-up of that 10-foot skinny tree, and this tree is populated with more traditional, older ornaments.
Yeah, I have ornaments from my own childhood. So they're 40 plus years old, maybe even close to 50. And also, I just recently got a handful of ornaments that belonged to my grandfather. We were cleaning out his house, and I let my family know that I was taking all of his Christmas stuff. He didn't have a ton, but those glass glitter ornaments I thought were really pretty, and he always enjoyed putting up his tree. So it was a sweet reminder this year, putting those on the tree.
Yeah, there's a lot of spherical ornaments and a lot of glitter.
A lot of glitter.
Yeah. So moving into the family room, we see this tree is going to be replaced, I think, for next year with a much taller tree.
Yeah, I'm looking and trying to find the right tree.
Yeah, this one's been with us a long time. I think you mentioned it was like 22 years.
Yeah, it is. It's 22 years. It's a good tree. But I've promised it to Luke when he buys a house, and it just really looks too short in that room. It's a beautiful tree, and it's a very full, nice, fat, traditional tree, but I think we need something a little bit taller in that room. It just looks dwarfed, and it's time to upgrade.
Yeah, it's definitely served its time, and maybe it can be moved to some other area. But we have a lot of ornaments here. There's traditional ornaments, not necessarily old, just traditional, and a lot from like vacations that you've taken.
Yeah, I have a lot of travel ornaments on there. I keep thinking that I should make a travel tree, but I don't know if I have enough ornaments to make an exclusive travel tree. So I kind of like the idea of making this travel plus the traditional just red and white balls and various glass ornaments like that big candy cane. Sort of, I always call this our pretty tree. It started out just red and white, and over the years, I've added ornaments that were special for some reason or another. And this is what it's become.
And always has white lights only.
Always white lights. Yeah. The only tree that has colored lights is the Disney tree.
Right, the lasers. Yeah.
Because you prefer the colored lights. They would all be white if it was all just up to me. But I was trying to accommodate, so I was willing to let one of the trees have colored on them.
I get the one tree.
And of course it's the Disney one, and you're not a big Disney fan, but the colored lights don't really go with my other themes. Although the next tree in the dining room, I did have colored lights on that at one point. So that one has morphed and changed over the years.
Yeah. So here, kind of moving over to the fireplace, we see some different objects on top of the mantle, and from a distance, like those trees look like they have kind of razor wire on them, but they're not very. They don't look very inviting.
It's just
but when
glitter.
when you move closer, it's glitter, so much safer than razor wire for an indoor environment like this, or any environment. But we see there's a couple Santa Clauses there, and a Santa Claus print. Is that right?
Yeah, again, that was my mom's. My mom was always into Longaberger baskets, and that's a Santa Claus, because that was her other thing. She loved Santas. That's a Santa weaving a basket, so that's where he ended up on my mantle.
Okay. The little trees.
Kind of goes with that room, the wood and the
Yeah, it fits
sort
there.
of woodsy look.
So now moving to the informal dining room, we see the last tree. There's this little tree sitting on, what's that called again?
The buffet.
The buffet, right. So this one's like very orangey lights on it.
They are. Those are actually wax bulbs. Because this was my rustic tree for a long time. It had all the rusty ornaments, and those bulbs went better with that theme. But then I got my mom's tree, and so I still like those bulbs, and they were a little pricey for what they are, and they still work. So I'm leaving them on there until they die. But I would like colored lights for this tree at some point, because I feel like it would go better with the sparkles and the sprinkles and the cupcakes and all of that.
Then moving over, we see the other side of the fireplace, and that sign's new, right? The candy cane
Yeah,
sign.
I got that this year. I thought it was half the size that it is. I love it, and I've been looking at it for 2 years before I finally decided I was going to buy it. And then when it came, I was like, oh my gosh, it's huge. So it was supposed to be in the dining room, and it ended up being placed over the fireplace in the kitchen because it was a little big for the dining room. So it may change places next year. I'm not really sure yet, but we'll see. For this year, I like it where it is.
Yeah, it looks good. You know, a lot of times when you order stuff, it comes smaller than you think.
Yeah.
And that one came much larger.
Yeah, it did. I really thought it was going to be like a 12-inch. I didn't read the dimensions, obviously.
So moving back into kitchen, we see on the kitchen counter, there's the centerpiece.
There's so many in my Facebook feed. I keep getting all these reels of people doing these round trays this year.
Mm-hmm.
And they just plop, plop, plop. They put these items in there, and it looks fantastic. And I'm like, I've done that tray four times because I'm like, I don't like how this looks. How are they doing that? So that's really been a struggle for me this year to get it the way I wanted it to look. I'm pretty happy with it now, but it took a lot of doing to get it where it is.
Yeah, no, it looks good. And then moving to the island in the kitchen, we see these round cookies.
I am a lifelong cookie baker, but these decorated sugar cookies are new to me, and I am all about the scoop, plop, and bake cookies. I am not about the decorated cookies. So I'm trying, and I'm learning as I go. This is only my third batch of these that I've done. So considering that it's only batch number 3, they're not horrible, but I can see all the flaws. And I know what I did wrong this year. So next year, hopefully, I'll remember I can do it right.
There'll be a superior version of cookie on the way.
Yeah. They still taste really good.
So the most technically difficult was that center cookie with the Santa
Yeah,
Claus.
you have to wait for all the layers to dry. So it's just time consuming, and I don't have a steady hand, unfortunately. So drawing and painting and that's a form of drawing are not my talents in any way.
All right, so after the cookies here, we kind of move back and we'll have a quick run through of the first floor with the lights off, not the Christmas lights off, but all the other lights
Right.
off, or most of them off. And this is, I thought this was an important shot because at night, this is how we leave it. This is how we walk around, and
Yeah, we don't turn the lights on.
yeah, we never use the lights. It's always the Christmas lights at this time of year that illuminate our paths through the first floor. So you can see it's lit up reasonably well, considering there's really nothing on but the Christmas lights here. The snowman in the foyer with the stars. Moving to the dining room, there's the intense laser tree.
It looks really blue in that shot.
It does, yeah, a lot of blue.
It's not as blue as it looks. I don't think, anyway.
Yeah, this definitely looks more blue than I would have expected. Based on how it looks when we go up there, it's just a bit different. Here we see the foyer, and there's lights there on the little table. on those shelves. And there's one lamp, so we do have a lamp there.
We do have a lamp.
That's on.
That's a rather large foyer to not have any kind of light, because if people are coming in, like when Sam comes in and whatnot, it's dark in that room. So I like to have that light on so you can see what you're doing and don't trip over the gate
Mm-hmm.
or step on a dog.
And then we see the 10-foot tree in the foyer, white lights. Throws quite a bit of light.
It does. You should be aware, if we buy a bigger tree for the family room, that 10-foot tree takes a lot of ornaments.
Yeah, we'll have to get some more.
Even I don't have enough ornaments to fill up another 10-foot tree.
And we see the tree that's about to be replaced in the family room.
But don't tell Luke. He'll want to take it.
This tree has served its time. A lot of reflection there in the window. See the candles?
Yep.
They're not real candles, right? They're electric.
No, they're battery.
Yeah.
I never cared for those, but now I really like them. Like the concept of battery candles, I just thought it was odd.
They've come a long way.
Yeah.
And here's the little tree with the orange lights. So
They're very orange.
this room does get a little dark.
Yeah.
Yep. So that's
Yeah, the kitchen.
yeah. There's not as much light there from trees. So that's the tour of the house. Again, we're recording this on Christmas Eve, 2023.
Yeah.
And this is what the house looks like now as we're enjoying Christmas. So we'll be here in just a few hours.
Quiet with the doggies.
I hope you enjoyed the tour of the Christmas trees and other Christmas decorations.
Mm-hmm.
Have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Merry Christmas.